Hello, this is the collab video that you've all been waiting for.
Hello.
Let me ask you a question, Osaka. I'm in this circumstance where role-playing. We're role-playing, right? I am a conservative and you're the lib cuck. You're not role-playing here, you're just being yourself, right? As a lib cuck. Right? But I'm role-playing as a conservative. Let me ask you a question. You're so blinded by ideology that you can't even answer this simple question. What is a woman? Define a woman.
That would be kind of like trying to define what God is.
Right. It's almost like you heard me talking about this a second ago. The point I'm trying to make here is it's not an own if that's a difficult question. The only correct answer is I know it when I see it. Because there are these fundamental questions, right, that like get at something very base in society, like gender, a very base level thing. And so it sounds like a simple question, and it's convenient for everyone if it is a simple question, but if you really try and define the edge cases, it gets a little tricky.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest answer that I could give is, like, a woman is whoever says that they're a woman. But they're, like, that's not going to be an adequate answer for a lot of people. And so then you have to start getting into the nitty-gritty of, like, what are the rather arbitrary characteristics that make up womanhood that you can identify? And this is where I would answer the question in a way that's, like, kind of different from a lot of, like, say, leftists. Because I would then start to say that, okay, well, if gender is made up of, like, these arbitrary, like, designations that are defined by, like, the way that we interact with people, then isn't gender subjective?
That's my fucking point.
Yeah.
I'm always saying this, and this motherfucker over here who doesn't want to be on camera. Can I show the back of your head?
No.
No, okay. Well, Dote Smite over there is always like, no, gender is so objective.
That's what I say.
That's always what you say. You're like, oh no, gender's like the most objective thing. You could stick a probe in me and it will come out saying they, them.
You can do a brain
I've
scan.
never said that.
What do you say? Okay, so you're not
I
misrepresenting.
just say that there's no reason to be rude about it.
Right. But, you know, who in society do we get to be rude to is an important question, I think. Because no one would say, like, oh, yeah, sure, landlords are bad, but there's no reason to tell one to fuck off. Or like, yeah, sure, okay, when the cops burst down your door and arrest you for being Jewish or whatever, right? When the Gestapo break in and arrest you for being Jewish, like, you can't just resist. They're just being rude. Like, just go along with them so you don't be rude, you know? Just saying
okay,
it's
so
rude.
trans people are the Gestapo.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, unironically.
I know, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, you can say that. I'm not saying that.
Unironically, the transgender movement in the United States and in Western countries is fundamentally not about the liberation of peoples. It's about power.
Okay, well, you can have that take. I'm sure we'll dig into that. But my only point is just saying don't do it because it's rude is not a good argument.
They have all the power they want. They have more power than they need.
I don't think this is true at all.
Like,
I don't think this is in any way true.
YouTube literally started promoting my videos more in the algorithm when I did a survey that said that I'm trans.
That's true.
Transgender people, like there was a time where Jewish people had an unprecedented amount of power and influence in the United States.
This is going on my channel.
That's
like,
not. Wait, no.
Chill.
But it's not the case anymore, right? Like now, there's like fervent anti-Semitism, and Jewish people are like slowly we're becoming second-class citizens again, right? But transgender people, I think, are becoming like the new Jews.
Nick Land, you gotta stop. This is not my opinion. I don't know. Apparently I'm platforming this. I don't know. I think there's like a nugget of truth like underneath the layers of meme language that you're using. I think what Osaka here is trying to say is there's a weird juxtaposition in culture between sort of in America like places like Florida where there is an abundance of discrimination against trans people, and it like just anyone can see
Yeah.
they don't have any power down there, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas in the sort of liberal coastal cities, and especially in the media, like in Hollywood and so on, there is a lot of there's a big fight for representation and stuff like that, which sort of feels like, and on the internet as well, on places like Twitter, people are very scared of being, called Floridian or whatever. They don't want to be Floridian. Who would, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like empowering trans people, arguably, according to you, too much.
Yeah. And I'm saying this, by the way, as someone who's both trans and Jewish. So I'm like,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think there is a nugget of truth there, but I think it's like the nugget of truth is more so, well, it's twofold. It's firstly that this
Is there something very squealingly?
this dichotomy is like a playground for conservatives, because there's so much of the culture of the US is generated in these coastal Democrat cities.
Yeah, and they see it as like a form of affirmative action, that there's this historically, oppressed group that is just now receiving all of these rights, and I feel like there's unironically like this liberal guilt at play in a lot of these institutions.
I agree.
Where like they see it as, well, in order to make up for those times of hardship, we're now going to give you like unprecedented influence in our society.
Well, I don't know if I would go that far. I just think the problem comes from, and I think you're doing this a little bit, is sort of seeing trans people as a monolith. Saying like, oh, trans people all have all this power.
Mm-hmm.
Well, poor black trans people don't have all of this power.
That's true.
There's a few, like, generally white trans people in generally Democrat cities,
Yeah.
who are already fairly wealthy.
Who are hanging out with Hillary Clinton.
This is my modern brain. No one talks about this, about the power dynamics of social media. Being a high follower account on social media is a form of like social privilege in a sense, right? It's like it's a form of not physical material wealth, although it can be depending on what platform, but it's also a form of social power. And that is the you on Twitter with your 2 followers or whatever, you don't have the power to cancel someone, but Keffals can or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But I think that there's a lot of, there are, coming at it from my perspective, at the sort of same thing you're seeing, what I see it as is there are a lot of well-meaning liberals who want to empower trans people because they are historically oppressed.
Yeah.
And then most trans people kind of just want to grill, they just want to be left alone and be able to get healthcare and stuff. And then there are a few like grifters who are taking advantage of the sort of liberal kindness to bolster their own, agenda or public perception or whatever.
The other point I would add to this is that I feel like the establishment media. No, thank you is off in Legoland right now, but I'm here to talk. I feel like the establishment media in the Western world does not want to amplify either trans or minority voices that disagree with a lot of these like now hegemonic, or at least nearly hegemonic narratives, like in regards to like what a woman is, or like how human rights like ought to be seen in regards to like the gender issue. Now what I mean by this, if you look at like a country like Canada, like the place that I got kicked out of, it's literally in their human rights code to like it's considered a crime to not refer to someone as the gender they identify as. And I think this is like absolutely ludicrous, because if you're trans, you're not a woman because you call yourself a woman.
Oh my god. I give you the camera for 10 seconds.
No, wait, hear me out here. You're a transgender woman. Or you're a transgender man. Categorically speaking, you're not literally the thing you identify as. You're a subsect.
This is pissing me off.
What?
It looks like you have a humpback because you've got the... There you go. Fixed.
I slept in it. Yeah, like, it doesn't mean that, like, people shouldn't be polite or whatever, and, like, refer to you as, like, the way you, like, really feel.
That's not what you think.
What?
I can get up my phone right now, if you want recording, and scroll to a Discord message, quote, pronouns are fascist.
No, pronouns are fascist. I don't think, like, it should be state or even socially mandated for people to, like, refer to you by the thing that you claim to be. Like, I don't think anyone should be forced to call me anything. I think people should just call me whatever they want to call me.
Listen, sometimes in life, there is such thing as just genetic social casts. And some people, the onus is on you. If you want me to call you she, her, look like a she, her, alright? And if you can't do that, then you're fucked from birth. I don't know. You just give up.
I don't know what's wrong with just using they, them for everyone. I feel like it's a good compromise.
I agree, that's what I do.
Yeah, why is that bad?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's literally ideal.
Some people think it's bad.
Who thinks it's bad? Did you think it's bad?
People who have a gender.
What's that?
Exactly, I don't know what the fuck it is.
Don't Smite sort of has it. You have kind of a gender. Ish. But you're pro they them for everyone.
I don't give a fuck.
I thought Dosmite was Jewish.
Don't Smite's not Jewish.
Oh, okay. I thought that was their gender.
Oh, I see.
You can cut that part out.
I'm gonna cut as an addendum to what I said about if you don't look like a she, her, then just give up. The actual solution to this problem is trans people and everyone else needs to be pressuring the medical establishment to create better surgeries and high quality gene editing programs in order to edit the genes of people to be what they want them to be, so that everyone can look like this. So that everyone can look like this. That's the goal. Once everyone looks like this, we've won. We've won.